Yo, what is up, everyone? We are talking about Billie Eilish today. My name is Ice, and with us, as always, is Dixon. How are you?
Dixon, great to be. Oh yeah, Ice. Who are we again? Ice and Dixon.
I forget. It's been so long. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Back in the studio. You've been busy, and let's just put this all full circle.
Okay.
Probably about a year ago, you asked me on this very program to be one of your groomsmen.
Yeah, I did.
And we're just a few days away, a couple of weeks away. We're getting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all coming full circle, and we're excited to be there. So I just wanted to update everybody out there, because if they've been following along to this story arc, we're getting there. We're getting close.
I know, it's exciting. Yeah, so if you've been a long-time viewer, you've followed us on this journey. A lot of life events have happened on here. Me asking Dixon to be in the wedding. Like, this is big stuff. You're following us along like your family.
Yes. We have such a great extended family, and it's good to be part of something. When I saw the other lineup of the additional groomsmen, I felt pretty disrespected.
Oh,
just kidding already. Yeah, but no, we've been busy. Life is happening, but we're still here for everybody, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so as soon as I had a lick of downtime, I'm like, Dixon, we gotta do the show. We got to do it. And Dixon was the one. He's like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's done.
Yeah. I know exactly how this is going to go. It's going to sit on the shelf until the honeymoon.
All right. Text me in Aruba. Yeah, I'll get it. I'll get to it probably next month sometime.
I love it. All right. Speaking of get to it, we can't have an episode without everybody's favorite segment, the comment of the week. With Ice and Dixon. All right.
Here we got a good one this week.
Yeah, we got a real good one. Real positive note for a change, eh, Ice? Really, it's good to hear.
Absolutely.
This is on our video from about a year ago. We discussed the Beach Boys album Friends, and kind of known for its lo-fi production. If those of you who don't know, and if you've been following along long enough, you'll remember that Ice hates Pet Sounds, hate it, Smile.
So I didn't hate it. Just so everyone knows, I didn't hate it. Just wasn't the biggest fan.
It wasn't the biggest fan. Just destroyed it. I thought maybe by targeting some of that lo-fi production that Friends was known for, you would enjoy it. Which I think you had some positive things to say.
I actually did. More so than Pet Sounds.
Right, and that's a lot of what people say is they appreciate that lo-fi production like you have, and I think that shines through, which is cool. It's always good. We all have different tastes, and it's definitely a different direction for the band. This video kind of blew up, Ice, overnight.
It did,
3.5 thousand views. So we're happy to be part of the discourse surrounding the Beach Boys. Real good comment on the video from this guy, Pet Sounds 3612. Oh, Ice. Do you have anything to say about that?
All right. Enough of this. Really rubbing in my face.
Anyway, and his avatar is the Pet Sounds album cover. And comment reads, "Yeah, wish I had people like this to talk about music with. Thanks for this video. Pet Sounds and Smile, being two the best albums of all time, tend to eclipse other great albums by them. I've been especially into Surf's Up lately, so dark but not in an ugly or scary way most of the time. There's just a murkiness all over the beauty. There's just a murkiness over all the beauty." And that's a really profound thought on the album Surf's Up, especially and Friends too, for being as light. Brian Wilson and the band, and Brian Wilson isn't featured as prominently on Friends. It's a general sort of malaise and kind of like a no good feeling in your gut, but they make it sound really good. And I think that was a pretty profound statement from this guy, Pet Sounds 3612. So thanks for the comment.
Yeah, thanks for that. And it's kind of sad that someone out there is, you're so into music and you really want to talk about it, really want to dive into it. And it's kind of cool that, maybe he had, his moment talking about Pet Sounds about Friends listening to us. So we're glad that we were able to provide that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We're facilitating discussion and friendship as well. Isn't that a great thing?
That is great. That's fantastic.
Very good. All right, there you go. And there was our comment of the week. with Ice and Dixon. So yeah,
Good stuff. So I guess we'll get to our girl we all
yes,
love, Miss Bill
Miss
Eilish.
William Eilish to
Yeah,
you.
William. Yeah, that's William Eilish to you.
You put this on my radar. I had no idea that Billie Eilish had a new album out. You had mentioned this when it came out about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
And I will say I know 2 songs by Billie Eilish. I know 3. Ocean Eyes, which is OG Billie Eilish before Billie Eilish sold out. And then that song Bad Guy. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with a lot of her catalog, but those 3 songs I really like. And I especially like the lo-fi aspect to them. And so you put this on the radar. We listened to it. Now we're going to kind of see what happens.
Yeah, so this is her first album since what's the last one here? I have it here.
2021, I think, right?
Yeah, so it's called Happier Than Ever 2021. And I wasn't too familiar with all of her albums, all of her work either, but I do know that Ocean Eyes was uploaded to her SoundCloud like before she was even famous. Like you said, that's OG because her brother, and everyone knows the brother is involved in the production. He does all the music for her. He wrote that originally for his original band way back, but then he had his sister Billie sing it, and it just worked. And I think that's a beautiful song personally. I think Billie really nails it there. And then, like you said, you have Bad Guy, and I think a lot of people know Billie Eilish, at least like the general public. They know her as, that's the girl that sings that weird song Bad Guy, because it kind of is. It kind of is like different. You know what I mean?
It is for sure.
And she's got that like drawling on tone. And if you listen to her other albums previous to this one, they're all kind of like that. They got that like mumbling, kind of like talking, sing song kind of, but just like speaking through the song. And so you could listen to any of her other 2 albums and you say, oh yeah, that's the girl. Like if you don't know who it was, you say, oh yeah, that's the girl that sings Bad Guy. Okay, yeah, she's doing the bad guy. Like she does that in a lot of her songs. So
that's spot on. That's exactly right. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you. I got you.
And so that's why I think I liked this album. So the album we're talking about, of course, everyone knows it was released on May 17th of this year. It's Hit Me Hard and Soft. And
wow, okay.
I think this is just me personally, but I think that this is a departure, maybe a maturing of Billie Eilish, in that you could listen to this. I think there's one song called The Diner that is kind of similar to like her Bad Guy era, but I feel like the rest of this stuff is kind of different from her past works.
Okay, I got you. I'm with you. And yeah, knowing the basics, like you said, I knew the basics. So I put this on, and I'm thinking, wow, this is something that, number one, Ice would really like, the production value.
Oh yeah.
I do have an issue overall with hearing some of the lyrics clearly.
Yes.
And it's like the vocal is like on what I imagine is the lowest setting on the mixer. Like that's what it's kind of sounds like, right?
Yes.
And it's more like the music and the vibe. But I'll tell you what, the vibes are incredible on this album. I really enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah.
Really.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned the vocal part, because normally Phineas is the one that does that, but for the first time, Billie did all the vocal comping. So that might lead to some of what you hear in this, because I listened to some of the interviews surrounding this album, and I looked up some stuff, but that's one thing that I took away. It's like, they're like, oh, Billie, you comped your own vocals on this. And she's like, oh yeah, I did. Like usually Phineas does that, but it's what's kind of funny is if you actually, because I had to look up the definition of it as well. And if you look it up on Google, it involves evaluating takes to make sure all the lyrics are correct and intelligible. So it's kind of, that is actually kind of hilarious that you mentioned that, because she seemed pretty proud of herself that she comped her own lyrics. And then it turns out you can't hear them. But And I was,
but you can't hear them.
but you can't hear them. And
Yeah.
and another funny thing is, I think a lot of stuff is drowned out because they put a very heavy reverb on some of her.
I was gonna say the
Yeah,
reverb. It
yeah.
really is pronounced, eh?
Yes, and I think that kind of drowns
Okay.
out. It's like it overlaps at some points. Like if you just want to make this like whimsical, big kind of soundscape, soulful
Mm-hmm.
kind of vocal, you could do that.
Right.
But
Sure.
there's a limit, and I think we're
Sure.
past that at some points in this album.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that.
Mhm.
And let me just address an elephant here in this room, right?
Yes.
Now I had to look this up, but it seemed to me, listening to this album, this seemed like a big lesbian love letter to
Yeah.
somebody far off in a distant land, or whatever it might be. I get a lot of that Billie Eilish is into the female form, and maybe is saying that there's maybe an unrequited love there, or an unrequited desire, or something that
Mm.
she's not quite finding, or that she maybe has found, it didn't work out, whatever it is. So I looked it up. Turns out that Billie does enjoy women. Is now I saw this article. Now this is 2024, but I am behind the times.
Mhm.
In an article in LA Weekly, it came out. She came out as queer the
Yes.
previous year. Now, however, she's dated men. So I think I don't know if she's focusing exclusively on women, but at the very least, she's bisexual, from what I
Yes.
can tell. Right.
That's the vibe that I got too. Right.
But I'll tell you what, it really, really kind of is some of these songs are really beautiful love letters about emotion, whether it be a physical, intimate relationship, or just like a friendship, brother sister, in that same, and
Right.
not in any regard other than a collaboration, emotions, love, sticking together, that kind of thing. So I really enjoyed it myself. I thought the lyrics that I could hear, and I did look up the lyrics afterwards, but the lyrics that I could hear, I really enjoyed the lyrics. I thought they were very mature, and I got. Tell me if you think this is correct, but I got the National vibes, and I got a very I got a slice of Lana Del Rey vibes as well from this album. Yeah.
Yes, I was definitely going to say that, because there are some, melancholy, kind of forlorn kind of feelings throughout where the National hits, and then you have a lot of that beautiful singing, a lot of passion that you hear with Lana Del Rey, and I think she kind of brings that together. And
Right.
I think that it comes together perfectly, I think. I mean, we know that, Billie Eilish performed with Lana Del Rey when she did Ocean Eyes. And I thought that was a
Coachella.
fantastic live performance. Yeah, it was really good. I almost wonder if Billie has actually done any work with Lana Del Rey. I could be totally wrong. Maybe this is like well known, but I wonder if she gets any influence from her. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's a really good question. I think it has to be there, and I think
Mhm.
and not to belabor a point, but do the Swifties know music like this exists?
Yes, please listen to this.
Are they aware of music that is like this? Are they aware of Billie Eilish? Are they aware of Lana Del Rey? Are they aware of? Well, they're aware of the National, because everything the National has a coin in the Taylor Swift catalog as well. I mean, they've collaborated production and songwriting, but I mean, this is like, I don't know. This is like if Taylor Swift went to Harvard and took creative writing.
Well,
Like,
yes,
this is what it seems to me.
that's
right? Yeah.
1,000,000%.
It's so much. It's so mature, and it's so abstract, but you could just feel what she's saying, the desire, the longing, whatever it might be, whatever she's talking about. And maybe you don't even know. Maybe these aren't like a lot of Del Rey's lyrics. I have a hard time. Some of them are pretty, plain, and you can understand what she's saying. Some of them you can't really interpret. And there's moments where I don't know what she's kind of going for, but it sounds good and it feels good. You know what I mean?
Right. I love those kind of songs too, where it leaves it up for interpretation to kind of like, kind of plays on your emotions and makes you think like, okay, well, this is how I feel. Maybe this is what she's trying to say. Things like that. But, to go back to your point, do Swifties know that this music is, because I was listening to this, I'm like, man, this is so much better than Taylor Swift's last album. I mean, you you listen to this, like you said, it's much more mature, and it's not like this. Oh man, Taylor Swift was almost childish in her last album.
Yes.
It's a lot of like, look at me, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Just all this frankly crap. I'm gonna say it. It's
Yes.
just,
Yes. You're gonna say it. It has to be said.
Yes, and you know, we make fun of Taylor Swift for like self-aggrandizing herself, whereas Billie literally has a song called "The Greatest," and she talks about her being the greatest after, you know, someone she loses someone and everything, and it builds up and it's beautiful at the end, and it comes in like this big crescendo, and it's fantastic. So you can make that kind of thing work. It's just that Taylor Swift doesn't, because it doesn't feel real. Whereas you listen to this, and I get it. I feel the passion, like you said.
Yeah,
you feel it. It feels genuine.
Those are really good points. That's absolutely the truth. And I don't think I would have even really realized that about The Greatest. Like I didn't realize that. Like I didn't. Like you have an idea, but it wasn't like it was in your face or it was over the top. Taylor Swift to me is just whining. This is to me is there's a purpose. This is like a lamentation. This is like a biblical psalm. Some of these songs, you know what I mean? And you know, maybe they're not, you know, you could say there's probably some overlap there, but they're presented in such a way that they just like sound better, and it just comes across better. And not to keep going on the lyrics, but the song "Birds of a Feather." So my fiance had sent this to me right when the album came out. She's like, "You got to listen to this," and I'm like, I didn't listen to it. I told her I did, but whatever. Yeah,
classic.
It's like you tell me to watch a movie, chances are I'm not going to watch that movie. I'm sorry.
I'm the same way. I get it. People want you to experience the same thing that they're going through. I get it, but I can't sometimes. You know, I have to watch on my own accord. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because I had this friend or contact or, you know, acquaintance, and he wanted me to watch this thing on Netflix. And every time I saw him pretty often. It's like, "Did you watch it?" I'm like, "No." And it was every single time I saw him, he would ask me. And I'm like, at some point, I'm like, I guess I have to watch this and just to get it over with. However, something changed that we stopped crossing paths.
Oh, thank God.
I haven't had to watch it yet. So, but nonetheless, it's a struggle. And it really is a struggle. But in Birds of a Feather, just the opening stanza, right? "I want you to stay till I'm in the grave, till I rot away, dead and buried, till I'm in the casket you carry." And then there's the chorus: "Birds of a feather, we should stick together. I know I said I'd never think I was better alone. Can't change the weather, might not be forever, but if it's forever, it's even better."
Damn.
I think it's just that's so poetic. That's so beautiful.
It is. It's
wild.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, it's hard to explain, but you're right. It's so, some people might say it's simple, maybe it's telling you up front, but at the same time, it's done in such a way. Again, you have to listen to the song. It's done in such a way that it's beautiful and it's perfect. And funny thing is, that's actually my favorite song out of all of these, because of the production of it, musically, tonally, and also the lyrics too. I think this is probably one of my more favorite songs on the entire album. They got that little pluck that goes in the background. I'm not even sure what that is, but it almost has like an island or like a happy, tranquil vibe, and like everything's okay. And then it just works.
I know it does, and it's so true. And you made such a good point about the tonality, and that's what like just the tone of the album, the vibes of the album, the lo-fi, the new wave aspects, the depth of the lyrics, but also the depth of the tones in the production. I think that Phineas does a really good job.
I do too. I do.
Yeah, I think he's really, really sharp, and I think Billie Eilish is onto something as well. There was two things about Billie Eilish I wanted to say. I didn't realize how limited her catalog is, because I feel like she's been around so long.
Yeah.
But 3 studio albums, 1 live album, 1 video album, 28 music videos, 2 EPs, 33 singles, 1 promo single. At 17, she became the youngest female artist in UK chart history to score #1 album. As of October 2021, Eilish has accumulated 76.7 billion career streams worldwide.
Wow.
And, you know, from what I understand, you have, just like the Swifties, you have very hardcore Billie Eilish stans, you know, very hardcore fan base, from what I understand. How this translates live, I don't know. It seems to me to be more like when Kanye does those listening parties, and you just kind of sit quietly and enjoy what's happening. That
Yeah.
might be the case when she's playing these songs live. Because I
Mhm.
don't know if they translate well, but it would be really cool to
Yeah,
see
it
how
would.
they do, right?
It definitely would be because I haven't seen anything live from her honestly, but it would be cool to
Right.
see like how it all comes out. And so
And the footage I've seen, I'm sorry, not to cut you off. The
no, go
footage
ahead.
I've seen, it seems like it's very stripped down. Like it's her and like a
Yeah,
microphone, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. I've seen pictures in like articles. Yeah, and it's literally just her
Yeah.
like going around the stage and performing,
Hmm.
which
There's something to be said for that. We don't need a whole lot of flash. We don't need
hmm
choreography. We don't need outfit changes.
no.
We don't need somebody to show up in their wedding dress. Have you seen this Taylor Swift fan that showed up in her wedding dress to a
Oh
show?
my god.
Have you seen
That'd be the
this?
end. No, I didn't see that. Come on.
Yes, this was. I saw this somewhere. I guess she had been divorced. Surprise. Hate to be like this.
Yeah,
Hate to have my misogyny show through. I can't imagine any red flags that this woman exhibited. But
Not one,
I,
not a single one.
the idea of that is just so cringe. It's
It
the
is.
ultimate cringe. And
That-
I hate to keep going back to this, but it's so true. It's odd. Just listen to this. Is good music right here.
yes, please learn from this. Learn from this.
It's terrible.
Yeah, Swifties have to learn, but
They do.
here's an interesting thing. You mentioned I was going to speak to the streams that you were talking about. How Billie Eilish has a lot of streams. Guess what?
Right.
She's number 3 in the world for monthly listeners. 100 million monthly listeners.
Wow.
Number
That's
2,
wild.
Taylor Swift with 102 million. Now, what's gonna? Okay, let me just say this right here. A little hypothetical. What happens when Billie Eilish surpasses? If it happens, what happens if Billie Eilish surpasses Taylor Swift? Are Swifties going to start hating Bill, or
Boy.
like what's going to happen?
Yeah, there's got to
I could
be.
see it.
There's some sort of animosity there.
Mhm.
There has to be. And I said this in the Lana Del Rey video, and I'm going to say it in the Billie Eilish video. Taylor Swift wants to be a songwriter like Lana Del Rey or Billie Eilish,
Yes.
or any number of female artists out there. And the unfortunate thing is, I think it's working out from a marketing perspective for Billie Eilish too. I think she's a little bit more under the radar
Mhm.
than Taylor Swift, but she's still selling out arenas. The problem is how do you step away from that formula? How do you ever be honest with yourself?
Yeah.
With that being said, there was rumors when Billie Eilish came onto the scene that she was an industry plant.
I did hear that.
That she just kind of sprung up, this Phineas, this mastermind, the so-called brother, kind of either created or manipulated or whatever you want to do, and put Billie Eilish up there. And I think that I think the thing is with Billie Eilish is it's hard to believe the industry plant rumors, because I think there's a certain way of going about the business aspect, a la Taylor Swift. But I think she's more honest and open than a lot of artists. I think she's
Yeah.
private, but how she's feeling, what she's feeling, her emotions based on her style, her look, her interviews, the music, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I could see where the rumors are coming from, though, for sure.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, if you look into it, I think she was born to some actress. I don't think the actress was like very, very big, but I'm assuming they knew people. I feel like people in LA,
Right.
like if you're a working actress or actor, you probably know people in the business, and they
Right.
sent that Phineas to a songwriting school like when he was young.
Oh,
And
it must be nice to go to
yeah.
songwriting.
Yeah, I know.
school.
Must be nice. Must be real nice. So he did that, and then he started, doing songwriting and producing and things like that. But then I think he brought his sister into the fold and kind of made her sing, because I think he just wanted her to see if she could do it, and then he would, make the music, and that's kind of how it happened. At
Right.
least that's from what I understand. But
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see him being like, "Oh, we could make you a huge star. Like this is going to be fantastic," and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
I could see where it's coming from, but at the same time, you're right. She's more genuine than a Taylor Swift, like a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think so too. And and I think now I will say this about the album. I think there was at times when I was listening to it, it got a little. Did the last song end? Did the first song start?
Yeah, yeah. There
I think
was.
it had that
Mhm.
general feel. The whole thing. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I know I
Yeah.
did. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the one complaint I have. But I think that's kind of. I think she does what she's doing well. I think the production was done well. I think that Phineas really is onto something here, and I think Billie Eilish is too. And I think with such a limited catalog and so early in her career and his career, it'll be interesting to see what the evolution looks like. You could see her. I could see her going either way. Like she's going to be the biggest star in the world ever, or she's going to like get sick of it and see like I'm done. Like I'm moving to a farm and it's over. You just seem like that kind of personality.
Yeah, she does. I feel like
Yeah.
she does what she wants to do, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe to a fault as far as like a business
Right.
success, but that's what I kind of like about her. I
Mm-hmm.
watched one interview and she said, you know, we were trying to figure out what we want to do. It's been 3 years since our last album, and I was constantly thinking about what people wanted to hear from me.
Mm-hmm.
And she got famous from The Bad Guy and like all that stuff. She's like, well, I got to make something like that, but she couldn't do it. She didn't want to. And then
Wow.
I guess they just started saying, well, why don't we just make like what we want to make?
Wow.
Don't think about, is this going to be successful? Are people going to like it? Let's just, being an artist, that's what you do. You just, you create, and it's received as
Yes.
it's received. And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Profound statement from you. Profound statement from Billie Eilish. Really,
Yeah.
seriously, that's
Yeah.
that's the pinnacle of art when you create without caring what's up.
Mhm.
Um,
I
yeah, interesting.
I think that shows a lot of mature. Like I'm sorry again. We're bashing on Taylor Swift a lot, but I cannot see those words uttered ever from her mouth. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm just making what I want to make. I don't think I don't. Who knows if this will sell? I'm doing it
yeah.
to express. No, it's not like that. It's like we're gonna do another breakup album and blah blah blah. But I think
Mm-hmm.
with this, like you said, this is a very. It seems like a more personal album. You listen to lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a love letter to some long lost love of a girl that might not have reciprocated a long. Who knows when? Who knows how long
Yeah,
ago?
right,
When she was
right.
exploring her sexuality. So
nothing like this being discussed by two
yeah,
white
two
men.
days. Yeah, so like the lesbian stuff.
It's so funny.
I think she's talking about another chick or something.
It's so good. To go back to the idea about art. Let's bash somebody else right now.
Okay.
So are you
Okay.
are you familiar? And this just has nothing to do with music, but I found an interesting fact the other day. There's a painter, Jackson Pollock, right?
Yeah.
And Jackson Pollock, he died. And he was known for these abstract paintings where it was like paint splatter, like it was just splatter.
Yep.
And you look at it, you're thinking like, I could do this. I could do that. I don't need. Nobody needs to be hanging my art in a museum, but I could make a painting like that, right? If I really wanted to.
Right.
Turns out that Jackson Pollock was an industry plant by the American government to
No.
supersede and eclipse Soviet artists. So they dumped. It was basically like a PR campaign into artists like Jackson Pollock. I don't think he was the only one, to make him big and prominent and genius, I guess, in quotes, to eclipse like Soviet era artists and the classic painters of that era. And there you go. So there you go.
Really?
It happens. Industry plants happen. So
That's
I thought that was pretty
insane.
funny.
That
Yeah.
is pretty funny because
Yeah.
it is just paint splatters. I mean,
Yes. Right.
yeah, that's actually really interesting. That makes sense.
That's
though.
that's so too. And there you go. So art is creating without thought of who's going to listen to it. And I think that there's so many artists out there that do it well, and you're not going to find it everywhere. But I think
No.
that in Taylor Swift's mind, and I think in the majority of top 40 artists' mind, I think the formula and the drive and the ambition is so twisted
Mhm.
that they think they're doing what they want to do just because people can hear it and people will hear it and they'll enjoy it. Like in their mind, that's what they're setting out to do and that's what they're accomplishing, and that to them is a good thing. And it's a fine line between, okay, Jason Isbell, Americana songwriter, talks about like the songwriter has a job. There's moments of inspiration, but 90% of the time he has a job to do or she has a job to do, and you have to sit down and start writing. Well, regardless of the intent, who's going to hear it? Are you creating from all right, this is what I want to do. This sounds good. Or, yo, yeah, this is going to sell 1 million records. This is going to get album of the year, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And that I don't think artists like Billie Eilish have ever really thought about that. It just happened that way, that they have a huge following.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's got to be it's got to be tough to navigate, honestly. Like even mentally,
Yeah.
you have to be pretty strong-willed to not be influenced by like, yeah, I can make what I want, but my last album made $100 million. So like, am I gonna
Right.
am I gonna do that again, or am I gonna make what I want and it might be a flop?
Right. Exactly.
It's gotta be tough. It's gotta be tough.
It is. It's tough. It's a tough balance. But really like this. I'm glad you put it on the radar, because this is something I probably wouldn't have really been aware of. But I have a newfound appreciation for Billie Eilish, and I always have. Like I said, I enjoy the 3 songs that I know from her, and this is pretty cool. This album was good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you liked it. And another reason that I picked it too, and we talked about this BTS, but it's a short and sweet album. It's not like this.
Right.
Oh, we're releasing 50 songs and it's a double platinum. We're gonna do two different editions, and one of them is gonna have the bonus. No, it's just here it is. 10 songs. It's 40 minutes. Here you go.
Yeah,
I love it. I love that.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. There really is. Brevity is definitely a skill, and it's definitely an art as well. That's really cool. Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
man, I love it.
But yeah, I don't know. Should we do a rating? I don't know if we've done one in a while for the album.
It's been
I don't know.
Minute. It's been a minute since we've done an actual rating.
Yeah.
So, now the scale has evolved.
It's very malleable.
Very malleable. Depends on the day.
Yeah,
what we're
feeling, if we remember what it is.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going out of 10, right? So 10 is I think I used album as a marker. Like 10, let's just say 10 is Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. That's usually what I go to, right? 10 is good. 10 is really good. 1, I don't think I've ever heard an album that's a 1, because I feel like everything we've talked about and heard has had some sort of redeeming quality.
Right.
But it's pretty bad. It's a bad setup. I would say this is somewhere for me like a 5 or a 6. I think it's good on its own, considering the context, considering where it is. I'm not going to bring it to a desert island with me, but I enjoyed it when I listened to it, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely. See, I was going to go a little higher. I was thinking a 6-7.
Wow, that's big. Good.
I think I'm just influenced by listening to what Billie said about her process, how her and her brother. They're both a duo. They do everything together. They write, they produce together. It's all in house. I think that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, and then it turns out the production value is pretty good, except for some of those vocals. Except for some of the vocals, but
she comped them right out. That's the problem.
You're gonna have to message her about that. But
and you were saying about it's a family affair. Like they recorded this and mixed it at Phineas's studio at his house. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, in his basement. I mean that's awesome. The dream right there. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
not like dream. Yeah, it is. I mean that'd be amazing. Yeah. That'd be perfect. One day, Dixon, we'll have a one day. We'll have a studio. Day. Yeah, one day. A home studio.
home studio. Everybody out there, they can help us get to that home studio. By smashing that like button, smashing that sub button. We are well on the way. Now we've kind of hit a speed bump. I will say this. I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah, but I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll let me know.
I'm not saying it. It's not about you. It's not about the tech team. We've hit a speed bump as far as our subscriber growth, and we only have ourselves to blame for that. but help us. We're well on the way to the road to 1,000.
Yes, the road to 1,000.
Yes, we're gonna kind of stalled out at the 300 teens there for a minute, but we're still going ahead. We're getting to the next gas station, so it'll all be good.
Yeah, we're gonna be fine after this whole wedding shindig. We're gonna go full gear. We're gonna be okay. There's not gonna be any more stress. We're not gonna have any 8 million plans. We're gonna be set. We're gonna be going.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody can blame you. I mean, yeah, it's a stressful time in your life. It's also very happy. I'm looking forward to it.
It is.
I'm excited about it.
As things are starting to get knocked off. I mean, I always say I'm really not trying to complain about the wedding. I was the one that wanted it. We all know
you
it.
did.
Yeah, I ruined the whole thing.
That'll be a backstory for another day.
Yeah,
if you can imagine this story arc, you wouldn't even believe it.
Literally no one would ever believe it.
No one will ever believe this. It's incredible.
I really pushed for this.
Probably the most incredible moment. You have many of them.
I did.
That might be the ultimate on the list of ice moments that are just a hallmark thing.
But I mean, there's little things that you don't think of. It's like, okay, we got our parties. It's like, oh well, okay, well, what are they gonna wear? Okay, well, we'll have this. Oh, what are their walkout songs gonna be? Okay, well, we gotta contact the event guy and figure that out. Oh well, we got to get the list, and he didn't contact us. So we got to call him back, and it's like, we got to do the seating chart, and there's a lot of little things that come up, but we're at the point now where we have a lot of stuff done, and now I'm starting to just think about like the day and how excited I am to be with her and all of our friends and my friends and family. I honestly think it is going to be a great time, Dixon. I think we're going to have a fun time.
Nice. No, it's guaranteed to be a great time. Now about the seating chart.
So I want you to edit this and put me in exactly. I want to be up at the front.
You are at a table with you and your fiance wife together and no one else, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's up at the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate when people do that. I hate that big long buffet table that people used to set up back in the day.
Yeah.
And you separate yourself from your group and your friends and everything else. Like, I couldn't stand that.
Yeah, I think it's silly, but yeah, I'll tell you who you're sitting with after we get off the show. I don't want to dox anyone, but
wow,
I think you'll be happy with the seat.
What's my walkout song?
Dixon, your walkout song could be whatever you want. Here's the thing. She was talking to me about this, and she's like, oh, you got to ask your guys what their walkout song's going to be. I'm like, I don't think anyone is going to care. I'm like, just tell the DJ to play a generic walkout, whatever, Ice Ice Baby, whatever, I'm sure they have a list. They have a playlist of walkout songs. But then I'm like, no, you know what? I know one person who probably is going to want to pick it.
What are the odds of that? That's absolutely true. Boy, there's so many choices. Boy, I have an initial thought. I don't want to reveal it. I don't want anybody to know what the song is going to be. I think I want to keep it a secret.
Okay.
But I have an initial thought, and I'll share it with you. But I'll think about it. I'll take the weekend. I'll think about it.
Okay. Yeah. Sit on that.
Once I approve that seating chart, we'll be
right.
I'm just messing with
I know.
I'm excited.
We're gonna have a good time. And you know what? The good thing about the seating chart is, because trust me, I've been put at some tables where it's like, oh, they definitely just put me here because I was like an odd one out or something like that.
Yeah.
Back when I was single, but no, you got a good one, but yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And this was a good one too.
Oh yeah, this is a fantastic one. It was amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing some new things. Post wedding, we have more things planned. I think we teased it on the last episode about our top fives, and I really have a good episode idea that I want us to discuss. And I just mentioned it before, and it's a little bit of foreshadowing. But your desert island albums, right? 5 of them, one of them, 2 of them. The problem is though, is in this society we have Spotify or single driven. That's the industry has been like that for forever. But at some point, the album kind of fell off, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it started with iTunes that you could just buy the good songs or what you deemed were the good songs on an album, not have to buy the whole album. And I think it started there, and I'm guilty of it too. But there's the album as a whole should work together. I don't know if that's the case anymore in modern era. Certainly, there's some people still doing it, but the album itself should work together. And I have some in mind that I would definitely, if I were ever stranded, I would want to have and listen to over and over again.
I'm excited, and that whole concept is really gonna make you consider, like, okay, what are the best albums that I know of? Because this is it. This is all I'm gonna be listening to for God knows how long, and I think that's really gonna make you sit down and determine it. But that's gonna be a fun one. I'm really excited for that.
For sure, yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, so that's it. That's it. Thumbs up, Miss Eyelash. Keep it up, William. And we're excited to hear more from you for sure.
Yeah, we love what you're doing. Guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We got new episodes coming in hot every week after next week. But we will see you in the next one.
Peace.